Hello there everyone, this is Iron Mark 3 and welcome back to the Tobosh Tangle here in Factorio. You are joining me just as I am poking around in the depths of the factory. So feel free to pull up a rock, grab a pew or whatever it is you would prefer to sit on as I talk your ears off for the next 20 minutes just like I normally do. Sort of. Now, those of you who've actually been following this series have, oh jeez, limit that, that's fine. Those of you who have been following this particular series for a while have no doubt noticed last week was rather thin on the ground as far as Factorio videos were concerned. Yeah, only one and that went out on Wednesday. And that was not my intention, certainly, but it is just how it worked out, and for a while I was not exactly sure why myself. As you can see, there are a lot more bots just zipping around now, because I've got this this shameful section of the base actually working up to speed, and I've been upgrading my bots a little bit as well to make them a bit more effective, just to get this entire thing running. But yeah, I'm going to stand here for a second and continue to talk. I'm sorry, this is probably going to be one of those episodes where I try to explain and reason things, and I've not had one of these in a while, so here we go. Now, there's only one video last week. I didn't know why. I was trying to make some more. I've not actually done any big time lapses or anything like that, but I was thinking, why do I not want to play this? Why do I not want to play Factorio? I mean, I've been keeping it going for a long time now. This is actually episode, I believe it's 65, or maybe it's 66. Either way, this has now overtaken the previous season of Factorio recordings to be my longest running series ever. And last week I just didn't feel like playing it. And it took me a while to figure out why. And in fact, I had some pretty big help in that regard as well. Now, the problem is this. I've been focusing a bunch in the last fortnight or so on getting this new section of this factory built up and working to replace this section of the factory, which is just a goddamn mess. All pretty straightforward so far, isn't it? But here's the thing. I think it has become too much of a chore for me to want to do this, to me to enjoy doing this. Because I was talking this through with my dearest friend of all, and the response I got was that maybe I should try building out, maybe I should just leave all this behind and start a new base somewhere else in this map. Just go far, far away and build some new stuff, leaving this facility here as a anchor point, as a starting point to supply resources and things, but the new base would be built up properly the way I want it to be built up from the ground up. And that idea, it drew me like a magnet. That is what I want to do. I want to leave this base. And in realizing that, in that thought, that is when I realised what is wrong. This base has become too much of a chore, too much of a downright hassle. Bob's mods have been melting my brain for a while now, actually, and I just hadn't realised that it had got to the point where I don't want to build this base anymore. I don't want to rework it anymore. I don't want to upgrade it anymore. I just don't, because it is such a mess. It is such a confused tangle. I just don't want to put the time in. I don't want to sort it out. So yes, there it is. The ugly truth laid bare. Bob's mods, in this aspect at least, has won. It has defeated me, and I acknowledge that it is such a hassle. I don't really want to continue trying to do the upgrades and refits the way I have been going about it. But at the same time, I don't want to just abandon this particular base as well. The Sabosh Tangle, this facility it's a solid core, and I've been developing. It's not one of my videos without me messing up at all, is it? It's been a solid core, and I've been devoting like 45 episodes plus a bunch of extra time outside that, in time that's just not been recorded, just to get this thing off the ground, trying to work out the mods, trying to get it all started. And that is great, but that is also a massive investment, and one that I do not really want to see being lost, to be quite honest. I want to go and build a new facility, but that would mean leaving this one behind and effectively just abandoning it. To just abandon it, to let the enemy take over it, just keep beating on it more and more until it eventually grinds out of resources and grinds down and goes boom the way all of my previous bases have just exploded under the weight of alien pressure. And... oh, hello. Oh, that's a nice place for them to spawn, right in the middle of a defensive group there. Oh, there's one over there as well. And it's drawing more aliens from nearby. Of course it is. But yeah. I think I'm on the edge of developing not just a negative bias, but an outright dislike for the Tabosh Tangle in its current state. Yeah. Maybe that's a bit of a strong language, but that is how I feel about it. Sad but true. Anyway, let's move on. Now that I've got all that aired, and all that said, all those words put up, the fate of this particular section of the base is not sealed. Not yet. Though there are massive swarms of enemies coming at me, and that might be a slight issue. But not right now, because my weaponry is still good enough to hold it all off. So, okay. Because there is still an alternate option as far as this base is concerned. And that is that building up the way I want to build up, building out, I could do that, but... well, I could build a new base, I could probably run off to the south and find a nice spot. But there is still plenty of space around me that I could actually just flat out go and claim. So I could abandon this cramped reworking I'm doing up here. I mean, it's given me the groundworks and things, but even this massive smeltery section, I've come to realise that it is far too small, despite its size. It's too small to house all of the refining for all of the different ore types which are included in Bob's mods, and ultimately, if I'm going to switch to the new train strategy, I mentioned this was only a couple of videos ago, but this is like the week before last in terms of real time. I'm going to need to rework things again, because this is just not big enough at the end of the day. Though to work that out, I need to know how long a flipping carriage is. How long is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So my ideal refining situation would be built around this 6-block long refining set. So it'd probably be like 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it'd probably be like one row of smelting like this. That would be the slice for the new refining setup. Single furnace, pair of inserters, one row containing resources going up, one row containing the output going down. And that would be it. It'd be one-sided. It would not be horribly space efficient, because the purpose of this entire arrangement I've got right now is that it is more space efficient. But what I'm thinking is that I would want to have a single train carrying all the resources like I mentioned before. And then I would have it unloading, and then it would go straight into a smelting section next to it. So it would have to fit into this 6 wide length here, because this is the length of the carriage. And frankly, those up there are just too wide. So it would be a serious downgrade in terms of density, as far as the smelting is concerned. But that's the price of fitting it into a 6 block wide space, unless I was to... Actually, I could still do it this way if I built it on 2 sides of a single train station. Yeah, that might be a good way to go about it, but this is still all speculation for the future, because I've got to actually get there first. Now, where do I want to do this? I want to do this by annexing. This is my current base. I want to annex a whole bunch of land to my south. Like, all this as a minimum, like this. Or I could just run it down further south towards these resource deposits, which means I'd be very, very close to these aliens down here. But that would be a good spot to be in as well, so there is that. But this is going to be a huge expansion to the base, and quite frankly I don't know if I can be flipping bothered again. For the same reasons why I'm struggling with this entire base in the first place. It's just, I don't wanna. It's becoming less and less fun for me trying to grapple with these mods, and it's just taking me a long time to admit it. A really, really, really long time to admit it. I don't think I like Bob's mods that much. At least not the full package. Sure, it has a ton of complexity and all this extra stuff, but all the in-between stuff is so much work. It's so much work compared to the rest of it. It's in fact, I'm finding it literally mind-melting. And that is getting in the way of things a lot. So yeah, I'm afraid that's the sad truth of it. Now then, I'm wandering down here to get some walls and things, because if I am going to continue, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to need some walls. Yep. I guess that'll do for now. Let's see, I'm carrying some Mark II gun turrets, some Mark I gun turrets, that's fine. How many pylons am I carrying? Not enough. Pylons? Electric posts. Yeah, okay. One thing I'm going to have to do to continue like this is I'm going to need to work out a new wall blueprint. And that is what I'm planning to do with the remainder of this particular video. Work out a new blueprint using my existing technology and resources. Because, quite frankly, I haven't gained access to any better technology in quite some time. That is another point in the favour of what's going on. Bob's mods winning. Off you go, my pretties. Fly. At least I'm getting a solid logistics bot base out of all this, I suppose. Still, that is not going to be enough laser turrets. Laser turret is really still not producing very much. At least the bots are flitting around quite nicely. Again, that's not what I want to see from this particular base. So conflicting. Anyway, I need to lay out logistics zones. Because I need to lay out a new base piece. Now then, if I put one here, okay, so it needs to be about here. Yeah, okay, that looks okay. And for simplicity's sake, I'm going to build this a little closer together because the existing one's actually a bit too big to properly self-construct, so it needs an assistance sometimes. So I'm going to say, this is how big I want you to be when all is said and done. This is going to be the new size. It's going to be a smaller section, so these building posts are going to be more regular. in terms of where they sit in the actual chain of the assembly itself. 1, 2, like that, yes. Of course it's going to be blue posts because that's what I've got. 1, 1, like that. So I put it like that. Then to get the actual core of it going, I'm going to have long range posts like that just to provide the basic throughput links for everything. And then I need to get the ammo systems and things all up and running, so let's do it like that. Get it like that, yep. Okay, so this is a much smaller section compared to that, but it's one that will work. So there is that going for it. Okay, 1, 1, 1, 1. So I'm not going to go with what I did before, which was gun turret, sniper turret, gun turrets as the anchor points towards the end. Instead, I'm spreading the gun turrets out along the length. And I'm going to put in a couple of sniper turrets here, for sure. But then, behind it, because of the density of things that's going on, I'm actually going to put a whole bunch more sniper turrets because I've needed to reinforce several areas of my line this way using extra sniper turrets. So if I do this now, working it into this new design, then I'll have this existing fortification sitting further back just to hold things together effectively. And then there's the question of the laser turrets. Those precious laser turrets. With their higher health, they're going to be anchor points for the entire arrangement. So yeah, I'll rock them forward a little bit like that. They're a little bit further forward, so that means the enemies will attack them first. That is the whole point. Do it like that, and then give it around a corner. Do it like that. So yeah, this is overall a much thicker wall. It's got a lot more guns behind it as well. It's got the laser turrets applying for better accuracy. Because it's got blue conveyors, it's going to have to use blue inserters exclusively to keep its turrets in check and supplied. That is a necessary drawback of the layout, unfortunately. So that means that the inserters are going to be more expensive to replace if they get damaged. But overall, I think this is a much improved version. And the last couple of laser turrets have a close-in fire support, just at the back like that. So if an alien gets closer in, it's still got a couple of these lasers to help fire, as well as having these massive volley of sniper bullets just hammering them as soon as they turn up. So, yeah. The general idea of this arrangement is, it makes the enemy regret ever coming near it. And that's all I can really say about it, because it looks like it's going to do a fairly effective job. To there, yep, okay, that will power it all. Now it just needs some lights to make it look pretty. Yeah, looks okay. Do I want some lights down here? They will be doubled up though. Let's put them in here, yeah. Next to those rear sniper turrets, just to make sure it all looks nice. And yes, the medium poles will link up properly as well. Though I should make sure and just back it all up like that too. Just to ensure that if the front takes some heavy damage, the power supply doesn't get interrupted. No, not quite enough. Oh well. Slight rearrangement of that. This is just to get the poles in place for a rear row of poles as well, just to help make sure this entire thing will stay powered up if it gets battered too much. But yeah, that looks like it would be quite a solid arrangement. So, as the last thing I'm going to do today, I just need to find my blueprint for the wall section, existing one. Here we go. Yeah, look at that. It's a maybe 3/4 the size, but it is thicker and it's definitely a lot tougher. So that is what I am aiming for. I'm sorry, curtain wall Mark 1. You are deleted because your replacement is here. The curtain wall Mark 2. And there we go. All ready for expansion. And I've got all the parts for it, of course, so all the bots and things can just lay it all out without any problems whatsoever. Where's that red? Because that's all that's left to do now. Return it all to storage. Come to me, construction bots. Here they come. Okay. And that takes care of that. Yep, all gone in an instant, thanks to the swarm. But yeah, that is what I want to talk about really, my general feelings about how this series is going and how it might proceed, because I don't really want to just, let's say, heck no, I can't do this, reset the entire base. But sadly that is an option on the table, so it's why I'm mentioning it in the first place. Yep, just dump it all in storage, thank you. So yeah, Sabotage Tangle is continuing for now. And until I get a proper bead on what I want to do with it. This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you very much for watching and for listening to me ramble and trying to get my thoughts in order. I'm sorry for bending your ears out of shape, but as you know, I do that sometimes. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you some other time. See you later.